Hi, I'm Mary Gunn. Welcome to Fun University. Hello, I'm Mary Gunn of Mary Gunn Fun, founder and head professor of Fun University, welcoming you to the second Cards Plus Lab of August 2020, which is primary colors. This time we're doing yellow. We're doing yellow. Yep, so maybe I hope we're not going to have some problems tonight. Apparently there may be some storms wherever our server is or something. I'm making this up, but it might be true. And so if we've restarted once at least. So hello, ladies and Stephen. Let's get this show on the road. We're doing primary colors for our Cards Plus because there's a lot you can learn using that premise. And last week we did red. If you haven't seen last week, it was pretty good. We did some pretty cool things, and I hope you will take advantage of the lesson library and watch that. Plus, you can move it ahead and things. We have 4 cards usually that we make. I think that's true tonight, and some extra samples. So you get a lot of ideas. So anyway, yellow is one of those colors. It's since it's primary, you can't add 2 colors together and make it. There are different hues of yellow. You can be so light it's just hardly there, or it can be a real bright kindergarten yellow. So we're going to do a little bit of several. And even a goldish yellow in one of our cards tonight. I do have 4. We've got some die cuts. We've got some freehand. I know that stretches you. And we've got some texturing, and we've got some compliments going on. There's so much you could do. I just struggled today, just pulling myself in. I had a whole lot, and I kept going, nope, just do it another time. Just do it another time. So let's get started. Enough of me talking about stuff. Let's go down to paper cam. We are going to talk a little bit about color wheels tonight. So this is an old color wheel that we made out of Close to My Heart colors. Well, we're not just Close to My Heart people here anymore. So I went ahead and bought myself one on Amazon. And I know you're going to want to know what it is. So it is The Color Wheel Company from Oregon. And I think it was under $10. And it's got a ton of information. But it has a two-way thing here. What we're going to be looking at tonight is the yellow. We talked last week about red and the analogous colors, which were right next door to red. You can go 3 to 4 colors around it, but we just did one on each side. Now yellow is right here on the color wheel, and if we go straight across, we're going to get the complement, which is violet. It's going to be more of a blue violet, but that's okay. So we're going to be using some yellow orange, and some blue violet. I would call that blue violet. So this is the complement. So if I point to blue, you would say, oh, the complement is yellow orange. If I point to yellow green, you'd go across and go, oh, it's red violet. These are colors that would really pop those colors up. If I look at red and you go across, you're going to be right over here in green. And what do we have at Christmas time? We have those 2 complements working together a lot. So that's what we're going to be looking at tonight, but it was under $10. It also has a backside with all the different tints and shades and tones. So it has a ton of information on it. I've been very pleased with it. But we are going to be doing yellow and then popping over here to some blues and some blue violets. All right? Okay, I just wanted to set you up there so you knew where I was going. We're also doing mini slims and slimline cards this month on Cards Plus. So I just pulled out the envelope. There's notes on it earlier from last week, but I went ahead and just wrote the sizes of the envelope on the envelope then I know I can do anything inside that. As long as it goes into the envelope, we're golden. So I can make a slim line that's 3.5 by 9, 8.5, any of those things. It's just going, you just don't want it to be bigger than 4 by 9.5 or 3.5 by 6.5. Otherwise, you have to make your own envelopes. The post office makes you pay more. All those things that happen. So I just went ahead and did that so I have it handy and I can refer to them. How's that? All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that away. Last week we did an ombre card and you guys did some really pretty versions of it in homework. This week I just wanted to show you this is what it would look like if we started with yellow and we made it a mini for one thing, and then we came down into its complement, which is a blue. And when we had the crossover, we have a little bit of green here, but it starts with yellow and ombres down into the blue, and then I did splatters just in the blues, and I did the same stamp. So you're seeing lots of variety in that stamp. Now I know this stamp isn't available anymore, but there are lots and lots of stamps that have little butterflies, big butterflies, stamp, or have leaves and all sorts of things. So I'm sure that you can find something that looks weedy like that. It doesn't have to look just like it. It might have weed heads on it, and it's okay. So just some little, I don't know what kind of leaves those are, but I thought it turned out kind of pretty. This one was super fast. This would be a really fast, flat card that you could do. You could just tape over this one, and so that you had the empty place and you'd have a one layer card. I covered it up because I splattered it with water and it bled. So I can hide my secrets, but I can't keep them from you. So the first thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to pull these things out. Alrighty. I got my pieces here. This is the new size I'm going to do. I guess the other card I did is bigger, but that's okay. We'll be fine. So I don't even know what it is. It is 3.5 by 6. And I went ahead and this is just copy paper, made it 3.5 by 6 basically. And then I found where I wanted to put my circle, because we're going to use this as a mask, and we're going to fit it right in there so that we have a nice little mask all tidied up, and we don't have to worry. Oh, thank you, Kim. I'm glad you like it. We don't have to worry too much about too much of a mess on the sides. So this one we're going to do a little bit of texturing with maybe something that's a little unusual, but maybe you've done it before. We're going to grab some canary and some saffron. Open these guys up. This is the saffron. I have to remember that. And I just took an old bag. The old bag took an old bag, and we're just going to use that for some crinkling and some texturing. It's fast. This is a fast way to do it. If we're doing sponging, it takes a little more time. But this is really fast, and you can move it around. You might get it on your hands, so be careful. But you get a cool texture going on, kind of a starbursty. Then we'll add some saffron, which is a golden color. Now, what I wanted to point out on this is pretty quiet, isn't it? Just the yellow. Now, if we had a real bright red or something, we would be grooving. It would be standing out much more violently. But with yellow, it just kind of sleepy time, and it just rather sits back and chills. Doesn't give us a whole lot of pop. So, such is the nature of yellow. Then I'm going to go ahead, and I took another piece of scrap paper and I cut a little hill out of it. It's just a curve. There's nothing, and it just is like that. I cut this part off. You could use this for another thing if you wanted, but I'm just made a little curve for a hill. And I'll just punch some black in here. Let's see if I can get it to. And I'm hoping you will see how this black really makes that yellow stand out and say, hey, I'm right here. Listen to me. Okay, there we go. It's already a little louder, isn't it? I need a juicy ink pad. Well, I think maybe it looks a little lighter on the screen because it's pretty good. But yeah, juicy ink pad's never a bad thing. Now we're going to use that bottom part for a mask. I'm just going to pull out. You could use anything. We're going to do silhouette. So you could use anything, any kind of flower. I'm going to use some little buildings because I know that buildings are kind of popular right now. Little houses would be super cute. You could also do this with dye. If you had any dies of little houses or anything, that would be real cute too. Just try to get it pretty straight. Here's one. Oh, he's got a little bit. He's a Leaning Tower of Pisa. But that's okay. We like Pisa. We've got another little house here, a little building. These are old buildings. Maybe if I set this one off a little to the other side, it'll look less. It'll look like it's leaning less. Or more. I don't know. And then one more little building. Oop, I don't want it that tall. We'll use this one. But for this one, we're going to put it over here. So we're going to put that mask back on as soon as I find it. So we don't want him to... You could have him sticking out of the circle, and that might be a cool look too. Just rearrange it here. Here we go. On my original, I did stamp into the black and it was fine. But I thought it might look better if I didn't. There we have a little... Oh, that guy really is crooked in the middle. Poor guy, jeepers. He's a very old building and he just didn't know it was going to be such sandy soil, and darn if he didn't just start falling over. I had a little tiny thanks somewhere. I bet it's in the box with it. Nope, it's not. It's in another container. Yep, it is. Nope, yep, nope, maybe. I used it several times. Well, heck of a deal. It's got to be somewhere. Is it under here? No, don't. I'm not going to worry about it. But I did have a little thanks right there, and I'll show you what it looked like on the other one then. Nope, that's not it either. I thought I had it. Oh, I can't deal with it. So anyway, that's just one little way to do it on a flat card. Now, if you want to step that up a little bit, which I don't think I'm going to because he's so crooked, this is what it would look like in a bigger version. And I went ahead, this is basically the same size as this. I just matted it. Or where was it sitting? I don't know. So I matted it and just put it on a bigger slimline. Now, one thing I wanted to mention about slimline, there's that thanks right there. One thing I wanted to mention about slimline, sometimes it's a cool card size because you can do several things. You can fill it up, and it's a very, very busy card if you fill it up because there's lots of space. But you can also really get into some white area and some framing and add quite a bit of drama in some ways and rest in another by keeping a lot of clean places. They can be colored or they can be white, but having unbusy areas and it makes for a pretty card, kind of sophisticated. It adds a bit of sophistication. I'm getting a clue here, but I don't know. I don't know. It'll be okay. Thank you for the tip, though, Sherry. There it is. So we'll just remember what it looks like. But anyway, it does give you some sophistication. Don't feel like you have to fill every little place on a slimline card. You just don't have to. It's almost hard to look at some of them. They're so busy. But just an idea. Busy is fine too. You've got a lot of area to work in. This is another long card. And this is what it would look. This is another black, yellow, ombre, and white. I did this with embossing pen and a straight edge, and then just blended with our brushes, and then added some just black, because it's very dramatic, the yellow and black. Just the yellow with that strong neutral. If you want to think about it just for a moment, what would yellow look like with tan, for instance, another neutral, or a gray? You often can see yellows and grays with a pop of black. Tans would be very quiet, but the black really does bring some pop to some yellow. So that's just some thoughts there. You can see the texture in the circle there. We're also going to do another circle, or I'm going to show you another circle card. But those are just some ideas. I did want to also show you one other little thing. You can also do a splatter with some yellow. Now how I did that was, and I splattered everywhere, I put just a little bit of saffron on my paint block, and then added just a drop of craft paint and got it mixed up together. So it's a bit of a yellowy cast along with some white, but the craft paint makes it work on top of a dark card. So you could also do that, maybe stamp with it, and then put some yellow on top of it, and it might be really cool. Or you can do some yellow stamping, clear embossing, and then cover it with a dark color. So there's lots you can do. There's no way to cover it all, but that was kind of a cool little, and I made it a mini slam. It's just tiny. This would be like something you carry in your purse to write a note and leave it somewhere. It almost looks bleached. Yep, it does, doesn't it? It's not. It's just splattered, and so is my screen. So that's such is life. Such is life. So then I got another one here for you ladies. Think that might be something you'd want to try, either the diagonal stripes or the circle with the, you could do weeds, you could do cat, you could do a black cat, you know that? That would be really cool with like a big moon and a black cat right there. Kerwin was trying to figure out why I was on the other monitor just a little while ago. He could not figure it out. This is a mini slim. You like the circle look? Good. I got another one to show you too. So that's cool. We're going to go ahead and do the same sort of thing with a little ink and a little pouncing with my high-tech pouncer machine. Yes, definitely. Halloween! We're just going to add a bunch of color on here. Now, wouldn't this be fun too with kids? They could do this if you were having a kids class or had some neighborhood kids that needed some art instruction. We'll come back in with some saffron. Or gold. You could do Gold Rush if you had that, or something else. We're just going to make a bit of a triangle-y look here. You need to move this thing around every once in a while. This time, instead of using black, we're going to go complement on it and add Bluebird. Now this is that stamp set that I've used a million times, which is pretty cool that I can get so many different cards out of one stamp set. But anyway, so there's the little weedy leaves. We're going to do it just a little differently here. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to draw a longer stem. So I'm going to put it down, straight down. Let it sit. Connect. Have a relationship. I am going to pick it up and leave the base at the bottom and twist it. Pivot it just a little bit. It didn't go off the edge, so there shouldn't be any differentiate, you know, like a leaf that's half right and half wrong. So, and we're going to do that again down here. Have it hanging off, but I'm going to pick it up and pivot it, but the part that will ink will have been on top of the card, so it doesn't, you know what I'm talking about with so we do it once. Wait. So we do it once. Now I need another piece of paper. And it goes off the edge. Then we do it again. And if it went off the edge, you're going to get some leaves that have more ink and some that have less ink, which can be an okay thing, but not always. Now this time I'm going to do it stamp off once and do one more set. You know, I don't think well, maybe I'll bring that in. We're okay. There's that darn thanks again, but I don't have it. Maybe it fell on the floor. Kerwin was on my mask earlier. Who knows what happened? He loves to knock things off. Absolutely adores it. If you asked him what his hobbies were, he would say knocking things off. Truly, that's what his thing is. That and spending an hour and a half maybe outside at night, but no more. No more. Okay, I don't know where it is, so maybe I can use something else. But that's really pretty, isn't it? Maybe this is too big. That's the thing. That little thanks was so perfect. It's so cute and little. So, we'll just find something else. There's always something. There's a hello. We'll use that. So, since Mr. Thanks got all Heidi on us, he loses a turn at bat. Okay. We have this little tiny corner down here, but we also have this little spot. So we'll just put that right there. That's kind of crooked too. Then I went ahead and had this all ready for us. See, I used, this is just a little bit smaller than this mat, and it looked so much better with a little white border than just straight up like that. That looks fine, it really does, but watch. You just add that little white border on there, and it's much prettier. I see kitty print. Yeah, he hasn't hidden any of my brushes in a while, though. He's growing up so much. It may be stuck to his paw. He was walking through some ink pads earlier today. It was black, and I thought, well, how am I going to know unless he steps on some paper? And then this is a time that you're going to want to decide if you want it to be at the bottom, at the top, but in the middle is a little not as interesting. Let's look at it. It's not as interesting to center it as it would be offsetting just a little bit at the top is what I think I would like to do, as opposed to offsetting at the bottom. I think it looks good while it's hanging a little bit. There we go. Now, this little guy is hanging up, so we're going to go ahead and take a thin marker. It's got to be about the same size as the stem. If you have a big fat one, it's going to blow you out of the water. And we'll just make a couple of them. To make it look like everything was on purpose. And then we got this nice big tall guy out of the deal. There we go. You really don't even notice it, but you might notice it if it was floating. But there we go. So that's a pretty card too. That's a really great stamp set. This is what it would look like in an A2 size with the circle. I think that's real pretty. It just fades off into nothing, which yellow does really well. But it really does need to have some extra intensity down here. So that, see, now this one I cheated to the bottom. But this is an A2. And A2s are the 4x4 by 5.5, and they're very standard. These are not standard. These are like whatever you have and whatever you want to do. Whatever's going to work best with your design. Thanks, Patty Girl. So, yep, that's another way you can use yellow. Better have these up here so we can vote on them in just a little bit. I'm going to put these guys over here since they're done. Nope, I thought maybe I found it. Nope, I didn't. It found a little flower instead. Yeah. Yeah, the yellow with its complement really works, doesn't it? Really makes them pop, and much more so. I'm trying to find my cursor. Much more so than if you just had green, for instance. Yeah. Kim, I cannot even tell you how many cards and things I've made out of this set. It is phenomenal. Wanted another thing before we get too far. This was the one I was working on, and I was trying to find the thanks for this too. But this is a little lesson in intensity, because here I have a really nice pale yellow, and here's a bright pop of yellow. This is like a first grade yellow. So if you would put this one, if you put that bright blue on this pale yellow, the bright blue is going to really stand up and be in charge on there. If you put it on the pale colors, the pale blues and pink, on the bright yellow, it doesn't look quite as lovely as if you do it the other way. This one is more, they aren't fighting. Nobody's fighting and bossing around and saying, you got to look at me. This is, and then if you have this, if you have the dark blue out, I don't have a white one, I don't think. If you had the dark blue on the outside, and then you did the same, I'll put them up. I'll get them finished and put up. I did want to do that, I forgot. And then put some bright butterflies in there. It's going to feel much more like it works together, like it's supposed to be there. This looks babyish and very gentle and sweet because it's not fighting. Nobody's going, you gotta look at me, you gotta look at me. I'm the one that's going to be sticking out. Your focal point is just very gentle, but it matches the background. The focal point, and this one is going to be boss. It's going to be, you gonna know I'm here. So just a little aside on intensity. Let's see, what are we saying over there? What stamp set is the leaves? Oh, that same old one that I always use all the time. It's this one, S1904. But just look for something that's kind of little leaves that have some motion to them. I'll try to look through something and see if I can find. That's all it is. It's just a little. I'll even look through the close to my heart thing and see if I can find one that would have similar feel. It just has a bit of motion feeling to it because it's kind of here and there and moving all around. It's not rigid, and that's why I think I like it so much. So, okay, are you ready for some freeform? You don't have to paint this month, this week, even though you could. I do have a painting project if you want to see it. But this time I'm taking 3 orange and yellows, yellowy oranges. We're going to analogous colors here. We're going to do a yellow orange with some orange. Let's do this side. We're going to do some yellow orange with some orange and red orange. We're going to put those guys together just like this, and we're going to carve a pumpkin. Are we ready to carve some pumpkins? All right, this is going to be free form. We're going to start with triangles that are basically 2 inches by 2.5. I hear you ladies out there, and you say you have a lot of paper. So these are a way to use your scraps. We're going to use this guy in the middle, so he's going to be big and tall. So a pumpkin is like a modified triangle. So let's go ahead and cut. These are going to be very primitive pumpkins. Very, they don't have to be very right in many ways. So we're going to cut the edges off. Now down here at the bottom, we're going to go ahead and just whack off a corner. We're going to make a little Kurt Russell chin clef, or a little pair of buns, and start to go back up. Don't need your corner rounder for this. This is just scraps. This is a great way to practice on scraps. There you go, Kim. Then we got some scissors going on. Then we're going to come up here and we're just going to cut the top. And I think it's even more charming if it's not quite even. Oh, we got lots of scissors going on there. So there is pumpkin 1. Does it look like a pumpkin? Well, they make square pumpkins too. Yep, Kurt Russell buns. There you go. Kirk Douglas, that's the one. Oh, I don't even want to think about Kurt Douglas buns. But they're old and not so good. But we're going to go right with that. This guy is going to be long. So we're going to go ahead and cut the corners off. Little buns. Back up and around. Doesn't have to be good. It can really be choppy, but just make your cut smooth. I know. Yeah, bad image. That's right. So where we go? We got 2 little pumpkins. Then we're going to do 1 more little pumpkin. This one's going to be kind of a tall, round one. I don't want him as tall as the golden one, though. So you can pretty much make them whatever shape you want. It's going to be fine. I guess you could get really bad, but you're not going to. I'm going to make him a little shorter. Look, you can take it. You can't add to it, but you can take it off. Take it all off. And those are going to be our little pumpkins. Before we go too far on this, though, I'm going to grab my orange sponge and find some kind of ink to add to this. I guess we can do saffron on the gold guy. Not the old guy, but the gold guy. And we're just going to add a little dimension by going around the edge. I know, it's good to see Connie come in. This does a great job of making it look a whole lot more interesting. Small things, right? Then we'll take here's some old poppy. If you have any kind of orange, you could do any kind of orange. The one side's going to be tucked under, so I'm not going to worry about it. This guy is also going to get poppy. Did he think? Well, we do have a diverse conversation sometimes. There we go. So if we do something like that, we've got 3 little pumpkins. They don't look much like pumpkins yet, but I promise we're going to do something. It's going to work. We've got this little sheet of cream, which was close to my heart color from millions of years ago. We're going to go ahead and, because we're going to put it on some craft cardstock. See what we do here. Look at those little buttons really show there, don't they? We're just going to get some placement here. Look how old this paper is. Oh my gosh. And that's going to go right there. I think I might offset him just a wee bit. This would be a great way to use your scraps, though. You could make any color pumpkin. Now, if you wanted to, you could go around and draw a line about a 1/16 of an inch out from the pumpkins. I'm going to go for it. This would be cute. You could make, oh, you could do any color. Such a fun way to use some scraps. Another freeform, Sue. I hope you got your yoga pants on. I'm stretching ya. But with that great conversation in the lounge about what we do with scraps, I couldn't resist a card using scraps. Now, what color stem do you think I might use? Have any idea? Okay, we'll go ahead and stick these guys down. I'm going to add some stems. It's going to go right here. Doesn't that look country? For the stems, I'm going to use Lagoon, because if you look at the color chart, we've got red, orange here. We go right across there. We're going to have a blue, green. This is going to look just great. We're going to, sure, good guess, but we're going wild here, girl. Because this is, we don't have to make it realistic. So to make a stem, I'll show you what it looks like here. You make an oval, and then you make 2 parentheses going the same way. Little knob on the end, just a little like that. And that's going to be yours. You could also do little thing going out like that, but we're not going to. We're just going to make little ovals. I'm going to make 2 go one way and 1 go the other. Get a little bit smaller at the end. A little rounded at the bottom. And those, okay, those are going to be my stems. And cut right outside that little line. I hope you try this. It's really fun. This is like stuff you would sell at a craft fair. I mean, it's just, it would just work. Look how cute that is on that orange. If you had some old waxy flax that was blue or something, you could make some real cute little curlies. Some little vines. And that's going to go right there. Doo, 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 doo. And if you do cut your pumpkin too much and it starts looking like a Lucille, I Love Lucy Christmas tree, just start over. Change the color. Before I put that in, I am going to add just a little bit of shadow. Hopefully not messing up everything. Because I want that little divot, that little hole to show up there. You know how it always has that little indentation? I'll probably do it with, we'll just fake it. Fake it until we make it. Nope, there we go. Pat that thing, just pat it. There we go. Now we'll put all these guys on there. Oops. Oops. Jumping pumpkin stems. Good night. Get this guy looking in toward the pumpkins there, so. All right. Then there's one more thing that I think makes it look real cool. I'm going to try something here. I'm not sure. I'm going to make like a comma or a cane right around there. Or maybe that's just a little half circle. That makes it look better. See how that looks? Just a little, what is that? That's a J. That's all it is. I'm going to make this J a little rounder at the top. Just a little J with a knob at the top. That's all. Now to really, I thought this made it work real well. I die cut the word smile once in the same color cream as I used in the background, and once in black and offset it just a little bit. So that one turned out kind of cute too. Very easy to do, really fun and different. Way to use your scraps. And if you have a pumpkin die, I suppose you could do it just like that and then build them up. This guy could also be up a little bit higher, but you wouldn't want your smile then to cross over that bumpy, be like going on the highway, you know, when you get caught with that little ledge. Ooh, scary. So anyway, that's a cute little card using some basics, some black and cream, yellow, and some red orange, based on a craft background. Now, if we look at that compared to the pop of the yellow and black, this is much more calm. We talked about that a little bit earlier tonight. This makes it much more calm, doesn't it? Has a much quieter feel. Remember how we made pumpkins with ovals? Did we? When was that? I don't remember that. But I don't remember much. I'm right here, right now. You know that be here now thing? Here I am. Yeah, we probably, oh, I think I did when we made the ovals and layered them. Is that the one? Yeah, was that? Yeah, we did do that. It worked out pretty cute too. We made a huge pumpkin a Thanksgiving pumpkin to put, yeah, many moons ago when you put the ovals. Yep, I know what you're talking about now. And you splay them out just a little bit, and so they're like bumpy. Yep. Boy, that's a good memory. That sure is. Okay, so when I was playing with ideas, this was another one, just painting them. This one doesn't look so good because the happy ran because it was still wet. But you could also just paint. I put some gesso on here so that this is just regular cardstock. And this would be a fun thing to try anyway. Just paint some blobby pumpkins. And then go around with some, loosen your hand, and then do some quick lines around them. And I put a little bit of pattern inside. This was like a little star stamp. It's got stars and circles. This one was a pencil top eraser, and that was from Build-A-Plaid. So you can do some pretty fun things there too. You can paint them. It's just a whole nother thing. It does look like a pear. It does, except it's a really blobby pear. And then I thought, well, here's another one using some yellow. This was kind of a fun thing to do. And using some green so you can see what it looks like. And then has a little bit of gray just around the circle. Another circle card. This one, to do this, I changed up my stamp. I think I left it out. I did. It's an old one. These are, you've seen these before. You probably have one in your stash where you have the outside detailed flower, the circle flower. And I did stamp that first in saffron, and then I came in with watercolor. Well, of course, that made the saffron ink just disappear. So then it dried, but I got the right shape, and then it dried, and then I stamped it again with saffron. It turns out kind of pretty. So I drew a picture, or I drew a circle around it, and then I still see the circle. As a matter of fact, I never took it off. And then just added some little leaves. So, yep, and it looks like I watercolored it completely, but I did not. So that's kind of a fun little trick to do too. Just find some stamp that has the detail, stamp it once to get the shape, color it in with some paint, then stamp it again with another color that's darker. You could add some white highlights and all sorts of things, but this is kind of pretty. And it's my whole circle thing tonight, so. And these were just with some mini slims, which you can practice a bunch. You know, if you take a 12 by 12 sheet, if you don't make them in 2 cards, you can make 4 if you make them into cards, and you can make 8 card fronts. So you can practice all sorts of little designs. It's a fun thing to do. I love this size. Totally love it. So much fun. Gosh, I'm just burning through these, but that's okay because I'm looking at the time. We're doing pretty good. Now, the last one is a twofer. We're going to do a little painting. I've got 2 little squares here of Canson watercolor. And we are going to do a little painting. I'm almost out of yellow. I've got another one, but I'm just going to go ahead. Ooh, this one's got a little blue in it, so we'll go ahead and use the blue first. We're going to use blue, which is a complement to yellow. And we're going to use this color blue, which is number 22. It's almost gone too. And we're just going to fill in the little square. Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No rhyme, no reason. Then we're going to go next door and get some more blue, some darker blue. Okay. Then I'm going to keep that one with this. Get my other one. Hopefully this one doesn't have any color in it. Oh, yay! It's clean! You could do this with ink too if you don't have watercolors. You can do it with ink because these are primary colors, and they are not going to separate into their components like those naughty greens will do. Naughty greens. We're going to do some yellow. I think we're going to go next door and get an analogous color, some orange. Orange and blue is always a strong combination for drama. But they play nicely. So we're going to do that. Now before these dry too much, we're going to try one more little trick with them. We're going to get an ink pad. I'm going to go ahead and get some my distress ink. Come on, baby, get out of there. There we go. Go ahead and put some distress ink on this block. Add some water. And then we're going to let this dry a little bit. We're going to speed it up, but we're going to let this dry a little bit with some ink on it. This makes a great weight to keep that nice and flat. I'm going to do the same kind of thing with the yellow. Except I think we'll do the carved pumpkin. What about that? Seems appropriate. Let's get a big block. Add some distress ink. Add some water. It gives it quite a bit more texture too. And on it goes. Okay. We're going to pretend this has been here for quite a while now, but it hasn't. And we're going to go ahead and dry it. Just got to speed things up sometimes. Got to get to the self-check line and just get through it. Add some more texture. Woo-hoo-hoo! Come back here, Glenda! Now we'll just set that back down while it dries a little bit more. Oh, we got big blobs over here. Okay. This didn't stay nice and textured. So we'll help it a little bit. Sometimes you just have to help art a little bit. That's what Mrs. Linkletter said. We got to help Art Linkletter a little bit. That's a joke for people that are over 60. That used to watch TV. All right. There we go. See how we're doing here. Come back, come back. Okay, we're going to pull out the die cut tonight. I know this is an old die cut too, and I'm sorry I don't have anything newer, but there are tons and tons of die cut flowers. And I'm going to use this little guy and cut him out right now. I'll be right here, I promise. I'm not going to go get anything to drink. I'm just going to be right here. I saw myself die cutting on a craft roulette, and I thought, oh my gosh, I don't want to see that again. So I'm not going to do it. There we go. Plus it's fast. There we go. Isn't that pretty? We're going to keep this also because this is going to be for our twofer. Then we've got this thing going on. We do want to clean these guys, but not this second. And for those guys, we're going to grab some leaves. And those are going to be our leaves. And this is from that same set. It's one of my old favorites. There's some things I'm just so glad that I bought. This is one. You know, I think I already have some cut. But we'll go ahead and do it real fast anyway. And I need a center. We're going to use this one for the center too, so. Just get my little tiny guy in here. Just like so. We're not going to do a twofer on this one, so. But you do want to put those so you can get as much out of it as you can. This is going to look so bright and pretty. There we go. That's going to be our center. See how it's already bright and just... Sorry, Sue. Darn work. There we go. But before we finish these, we're going to go ahead and get those little tiny stamp pads as soon as they show up and do the edges. There we go. Because this looks good, but this will look better. Just a little definition there. Eunice is calling. That's right. Did I do that? I was waiting for an appointment yesterday, and I started thinking about Eunice. And I started thinking of all the things she might say. Made quite a list of them. I don't know if they got put in there or not. I don't remember that one. That's cute. And then the blue one also, it should be around here somewhere. Did I put it away? I did almost put it away. Good heavens, how weird. And then we'll just go around the edge. This one's not as dramatic, I must admit. I think the orange looks really good this way. But I do like it. Wonder if it would look, you know, sometimes people take a black pen and do the edges. That would be very dramatic. Okay, I'm not going to do this. I think if I do it just on top of it, it's better than on the side. Those little bumps, they just a nice light hand. You can always add more. It's hard to take it off. But you know, this ink, you could get it wet and you could take it off. There we go. We'll go around the edge of this guy too. This is just so fallish, don't you think? So now when you're looking on Pinterest or Instagram or wherever you go, and you see these colors, you're going to know why they look just real nice together. Well, do I have a piece of white cardstock? I do not. Okie doke. Well, let me get one. Feels like white daisies, so we'll get something that will work. The card base that I have is big. It's a big one. It's a big one. It is 4 inches by 8 inches. So I know I'm going to make this. It's going to be my mat. And that didn't have the base though. So I want to make this a little, yep, that's 3 1/4, so that's good. I don't want it that long. I'm going to make it 3 1/4 by 5. 3 1/4 by 5. We'll make this then 3 by 4 1/4. 3/4. We'll just make it a little bit smaller. Well, that didn't quite work. Wonder if I wasn't looking at the numbers. I probably wasn't. Eunice, are you cutting the paper for me? Thank you. There we go. And no harm, no foul. We'll just make it a little bit smaller. I can always bring it over to the side too, just a little bit, and trim the side because it's big. You can do a reduction. There we go. I think I will do a reduction. Eunice, you naughty girl. And again, I'm going to float it at the top instead of the bottom, just because I think it's going to look nice. And it's going to give us a lot of framing. And it's not at all straight once I cut it. Pivot. There we go. Well, that's gonna do. That's just gonna do. So then we're gonna put this little guy right. He's more, this is probably, could have done a little more lagoon. You never know. I could add some purpley to it though, and then it would be more purpley, but I'm just going to put some adhesive in the center so nothing's sticking out on the sides. Put it about there. Add some little pretty leaves. Off to the edge. There we go. And I did pop this one up. I don't have anything to pop it up with right here, so I'm just going to put that on there for now. You know, you could use the same principles too on the hand painted card that we did last week and do it with yellows and some blues to do instead of the reds and the analogous. You could just use some, see what that looks like with some blues. It may look awful, but it may look really good. And then just a little bit of a sentiment here from that same stamp set. I'm going to move it down so I can see where I am. And we will have 3 elements on the card. So we have a visual triangle happening. We'll have the flower, the leaves, and the sentiment. And so that's all you really need. It's the flower, the leaves, and the sentiment. I'm going to probably take this off and take some of the color out because I think it's a little too bright. And then we also have some leftovers. So look what you can do with the other way around. You can use the outside and cut a, I think that's just a yellow card. No, it's like tangerine or something. And then I popped it up on some craft foam. And so you can see the black underneath. It's very dramatic. Make sure that you get everything laid out and then emboss this before you put all this together, because this wanted to pick up when I was embossing down here. So if you do, just make sure you blow it down too. So Eunice is acting up in the chat room. So that's a way to use both of the negative and the positive and get quite a dramatic difference in looks. All right, well, that was quite a night. Let's review what we did, because we did quite a bit. Okay, so we started out with a tall guy. I've just put in some Slim Jims, by the way, in foundations. It's C006. This is going to be 4. This was 2. And this one is 3. We did quite a bit of variety today, didn't we? Couple, definitely had some Slim Jims with, or I keep calling them Slim Jims, dang it. Slim lines with a lot of white space, which I think is very pretty and very becoming. I hope you like it. I think we're doing the long way. Like from over here, this way. Oh, there's plenty of room. I guess I wasn't that zoomed in. Okay, there we go. So we have a little texturing with plastic sack. We have texturing with plastic sack, and then some complements. We have some analogous colors with the golds and the red orange. Freehand pumpkins with little bums. And we also have watercolor with complements, very strong complements. So, are you ready to vote? Good idea, Stephen, thanks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me know which one you like. Which one do you want to try first? I'm a-waiting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sue's going to try 2. Sherry likes 2 and 4. Patty likes 2. You like the circle. Kim likes 2. Connie likes 1. Chrissy likes 2 and 1. And Stephen likes 4. Oh, we got them all over the board there. Poor little Mr. Handcut Pumpkin didn't get any love, but I love him. And Kim likes them. Kim likes them all. So good deal. Everybody gets a little love, I guess. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you get inspired and you want to try some yellows. Did you know? Did you just think yellow was yellow? Yellow is also a great thing to give a little color, or lighten up a card if you have a lot of dark colors. It's got a lot of purposes, and it's got a lot of fun. Oh, thanks, Kim. It's hard not to like them all. There's a lot there, and orange, of course, is a great neighbor of yellow, and I couldn't leave it alone because I love orange. So next week we will hit the highlights with blue, and so we've done analogous, we've done complements. What do you think we'll do with blue? We'll see. Time will tell. Oh, pumpkins are fun and outside your comfort zone. Gotta try it. That's right. That's right. Gotta try it when it's out of your comfort zone too. It's just scraps. Just try it. Nobody's gonna know if it looks good. It's just fine. Yeah, it's just different. I'd never done anything quite like it, and it was fun. I enjoyed doing it, and it was like, yeah, I got some scraps. I mean, hardly any. Gosh, you can't get rid of scraps. There's so many. It just takes forever. Tomorrow night, craft roulette. We don't have a guest, but we are going to have one of our fun university students come on real soon as I think our next guest, which will probably be next week. Have some people that are that I've only met over the internet. I hope we all can have a good time. And Jama's going to come back. We've talked to her, so we're going to have a good time. Next week, we're also going to do gosh, is it? It is. I bet it's the third Monday too. So we'll have study hall and we'll talk about planning for next month's scrapbook with our planner. So bring your bring your phone or your camera, your planner, and some notes, your calendar. And we'll make a plan for some layouts in September, and then we have scrapbook lab, and we're done. We have the last cards class, and we'll be done for the month. So, all right, everybody, it was cool to have you guys here. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you spending some time with me. It was nice to have Ricardo come in and visit with us too. What do you do at school, Kim? Kiss your brains. You are making it happen. Enjoy your night, and I am going to find my button. Thank you so much. Love you all. Good night.